Hey people, hey y'all. Hey. I wanted to come back tonight simply because the last short I just did, I think the title says if they're stingy with chips, they'll be stingy with love, true detachment and action. This is just gonna be an extended for that particular short, if you want to call it an extended, because I feel like there's so much more that needs to be said about what I said in the video. It kind of cut off at the end, but I really was done with what I was wanting to say. But there's so much more that I want to elaborate on about that particular that video. But first of all, let me just say, thank you guys for those of you that did subscribe to the channel. I do appreciate you guys doing that. We're 2 subscribers short of the goal of 50, so that YouTube would allow me to live stream from my phone, my cell phone. Right now, this live stream is on my laptop. For some reason, YouTube is allowing me to do it from my laptop, but they won't let me do it from my phone unless I have 50 subscribers. So right now, we're sitting at 48. Most of my viewers are non-subscribers, so I'm asking you guys to go ahead and subscribe to the channel for me. Go ahead and do that. Tap that screen and like this video, like all the videos that I have, and actually go watch some of the videos that I have. I have regular videos that I've uploaded on here, and this is before I was aware that I was able to go live on my laptop. So I really would appreciate if you guys would go take a look at those videos that I've uploaded. And those are some really good ones that I did upload, as well as the lives that I have on here. And especially the shorts, which is just a little snippet into like an insight into a certain subject or whatever, what have you. But I wanted to say thank you for those that did subscribe. I'm going to ask that the rest of you go ahead and subscribe. The 92% of my viewers is coming down. It was 99%, but 92% of my viewers are non-subscribers. Can I get you to subscribe, please? Can you tap that button to subscribe and then tap the other button so that you can like this video, and then make sure that you click the notification bell so that you get a notification anytime I upload something or I'm going live or what have you. Okay, anytime I'm online, you can do that for me. Okay, and I'm going to go with the same 5 cards that I have and that I use for the short. But we're going to elaborate, going to put some tarot on it and see what we can come up with at this time. This is a general message. It is not for one sign. It is not just going to be always for you. It may be for someone else, so don't try to make it fit. If it doesn't fit, don't force it. Relax and let it go. Don't try to make it about you. Don't try to make it about your situation. If it's just not for you, it's just not for you, okay? And I appreciate the comments. That's another thing I wanted to ask you guys to do, is to comment on the video if it resonates with you. If it doesn't resonate with you, more than likely this is not your reading. Okay, so there's like a whole vast community of tarot readers on YouTube and other platforms that you could you might find what you're looking for on their channel if this is not your reading. So again, if it's not your reading, it's not your reading. So we're going to go ahead and get into this. Spirit, ancestors, the Most High God, I'm asking that you will come into this reading and continue to keep all distractions out. I feel like I'm stuttering tonight, so I do feel like there's something else that needs to be said. Lately, when I've been doing my videos, I've noticed a lot of stuttering lately. So somebody is at a loss for words, or somebody is either they're being cornered or something to that effect, and they're stuttering, trying to get out of something. So that's the sidebar. I don't know if it has anything to do with this message that we're about to get into, but we're gonna see. But my spirit team of love and light, I'm asking that you come in and guide me, my angels, and protect all of my viewers that are listening to this message at this time, that they receive what they need from this message that you've given me. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and tap into tarot. I've already got those 5 cards from the live that I just did. So we're going to use those, and then we're going to elaborate on them, okay? So remember, my first card that was out was the young lady sitting on the couch. It looks like she's depressed about a relationship. And this is what I'm getting, okay? She's depressed about a relationship that ended, okay? So she's so depressed about it that she's Netflixing and chilling by herself, okay? She wrapped up with a blanket on the couch, and you see above her head all the different platforms, you know, where you can watch movies and stuff floating around her head. It's like she's trying to occupy herself and trying not to think about what happened in that relationship. Okay. Obviously, it wasn't a good thing if she's feeling like that. So she's very uncomfortable with what happened. She's very hurt with what happened. She's very depressed with what happened. I'm gonna show you this card of her sitting on the couch. I want you to look at her face and look at the little wrinkle in between her forehead. I mean, in her forehead, it's between her eyes, okay? And even though she's looking at TV, you can tell that she's not as distracted as she would like to be. So she's sitting on this couch trying to watch something to try to occupy her mind, to take her thoughts off of what happened. You know what I'm saying? So she is very uncomfortable. She don't want to do anything. She don't want to go nowhere. She don't want to see nobody. She don't want to hang out. She don't want to do nothing. You know, she just want to stay in the house. And she's stagnant. You know, her life is kind of at a standstill because I said in the video, in the short, that everything about that relationship had her she was so into that guy or that girl. They were, and it could be masculine or feminine. I'm just saying she, because it's a female on the card. But this person was this masculine and this feminine was into this person, so to the point it was her world. It was her world. So now she doesn't know what to do with herself because she was so occupied with whoever she was with, or he was so occupied with whoever he was with. Y'all, I started sweating. God knows. Okay. All right, so we're going to put some tarot on that first card. Let me show you it again. This is her sitting on the couch. And look at her forehead. You see that wrinkle in between her eyebrows? You see her looking up at the TV? That's obviously mounted on the wall, and all those different platforms for movies and different things, Netflix and whatever else you can look at, and Showtime or whatever. She's sitting on the couch, wrapped in a blanket on the couch, looking like, I am not really paying attention to, I just got my eyes fixed on this TV, but the TV more or less is watching her, and not because she's asleep, but she feel like she in a daze right now because that last relationship really did something to her. You know, kind of knocked her off her feet, not in a good way. Okay, so we're gonna put some tarot on that. Got a card already. So my first card for the young lady, or the divine masculine or the divine feminine that's sitting on the couch, whoever this person is a Five of Swords in the upright. Okay. And this is the first card that I got out for that one. Okay. And for the Five of Swords, this is like she's in conflict. Okay. So there was some conflict within this relationship, which is what I said before. So things did not go well for her. Okay. Or for him, whoever it is, divine masculine, divine feminine. And there was a lot of disagreements, probably a lot of arguing going on, and some competition was going on. Somebody wanted to win at all costs. This is what was going on in that relationship that the divine masculine or the divine feminine was in. Somebody tried to win at all costs, and this person received the short end of the stick because of that. Okay. And there was a lot of battles, a lot of, things is going on, a lot of sneaky stuff going on with this Five of Swords in the upright. You know what I'm saying? And it was a very abusive relationship. So it doesn't say whether it was physical abuse, what kind of abuse it was, whatever it was. I'm almost certain it was emotional abuse, because with any other abuse besides emotional, if it's any other abuse that's taking place, you definitely can say that emotional abuse was a part of it. Okay. Because in order to abuse somebody, you got to get into their mind to be able to allow that to happen to yourself. So something had to happen emotionally. There was emotional abuse. We know that so far. Okay. And there was a lot of conflicts and arguing and stuff that was going on. A lot of competition. Somebody trying to best each other. Like probably some gaslighting going on. All kind of crazy stuff was happening with this person. A lot of disagreement. And looked like this person, probably according to this Five of Swords card, their person was competing against them some kind of way, trying to best them at something. I don't know what it was. Okay. Anything else on this first card with this divine masculine or this divine feminine that's sitting on the couch? Do you have another card for them for that? Because we're aware that there was some problems. That's why she's sitting on the couch. Okay. The Five of Swords. We got another card. Let me see. And then we got the Six of Swords in the upright. This came out sideways. Okay. And it came out and it fell over here by the Five of Swords, which is right on top of the card of the divine masculine or the divine feminine that's sitting on the couch that's depressed. Okay, so it came out sideways. Okay, when the upright, this is a card of leaving something else and going to something new. So when it came out sideways, this is saying this divine masculine, this divine feminine had a hard time leaving this person. They were undecided. There were several times they felt like they should, but they had a hard time doing it and separating themselves from this person, which is why we got this Six of Swords in the upright here. They was afraid to let go of this person. They was afraid to end this relationship, or maybe they feared that it was going to end, okay? And that they had to go in separate directions. You know, they will have to release this person and leave them behind if they did the releasing. Somebody released somebody. They're not together anymore, okay? That they had to release what was happening, leave this person behind and move on. That's what this card is saying, okay? And that is why this person is sitting up here on the couch, because and it came out sideways, which I'm going to lay it sideways like it came out, because this person was staggering between should I go or should I stay? Should I stay? Should I go? Or what should I do? Okay. Yeah, then we got the Four of Swords in the reverse, okay? So with the Four of Swords in reverse, this person was exhausted, okay? This person was burnt out, okay? They needed to lay down a lot after they got done dealing with this person, which meant they was probably drained. You see this is in reverse. They didn't get a chance to do that with this person. They're doing it now. That's why they're sitting on the couch. But when they was with this person, they didn't get a chance to do that, which is why it's in the reverse. If you see somebody laying down, look at me, turn it the right side up. Okay, this is what they needed to do, but they weren't able to, because this person kept them on their toes in a bad way, okay? This person was walking on eggshells and trying to overcompensate to try to get this person to love them the way that they wanted to be loved. And so this person did not get a chance to really rest. And anytime they probably sat down, their partner probably created a problem or issue that had them in the fight or flight mode. You know what I'm saying? Where they was constantly, their adrenaline was constantly being triggered over and over and over again, because this is what that person was probably doing to them. So they didn't get a chance to lay down or chill out or do nothing to relax and do anything for themselves. So this person is burnt out. They're exhausted right now. They're in deep contemplation, which is why she looked like this in this card, because she's not watching that TV. Okay, look at her face. She ain't watching that TV. She's in deep thought about what happened. She's constantly thinking about this person over and over and over again. And this happens a lot of time when you're in those type of toxic type of relationship, and you have these attachments to people that they have created with you, with this back and forth, hot and cold type thing going on. Will have you in your feelings one minute and have you not in your feelings, have you feeling like they want you, and the next minute they feel like they don't want you. They don't want to be bothered with you. Okay, they got somebody better than you. They could do better than you. This and that and the other. And then the minute you start getting in your head about what they doing or how they treating you and stuff, and you pull back, here they come again, want to love bomb you and tell you how much they love you. And then when you get back into that mode of giving again, they want to pull back again. Okay, so it's give and take, it's give and take, it's give and take. But this person was doing all the giving most of the time. And their partner kept them in that never-ending loop of giving by being hot and cold with them, creating what do you call them, attachments? I it's on the tip of my tongue right now, but you know what I'm trying to say, soul ties or whatever else you want to call it. That's what they was doing. Okay, so when this person got out of that relationship, however it ended, they're exhausted because all their energy was drained going back and forth with this person in that relationship, and because they were consumed with that person. Their life, this person's life, was their partner's life. They didn't have no life. They put themselves on the back burner for that person, and that's all they knew for however long they were together. This is why they're sitting on the couch now exhausted and burnt out, because they got drained in this relationship. That's what I'm saying. Next card, it says, stop. If they're stingy with chips, they're going to be stingy with love. Stop trying to save people who won't share their snacks. Reciprocity, fairness, and boundaries. So this person, their partner, was a very stingy lover, okay? They were a very stingy lover, okay? When I say stingy, they was not giving back to this person what the divine masculine or the divine feminine or whoever it was giving to them. They was not getting it back, not even 0.25% of what they were doing. They did all the invested, they did all the work, okay? But their partner was stingy. Partner was stingy. The partner was not giving them hard. They were taking more than anything. They weren't giving them hard, very little, doing a little breadcrumbing thing, okay? That's what they was doing. So you know what breadcrumbing is just giving you just enough to keep you hanging on and hoping that things is going to level out to where it's going to be equal give and take. And it's never going to be that, okay? But that's the hope they want to create to keep you hanging on, and so you don't never let go. So they can continue to drain you and use you for whatever it is you giving and you investing. You helping this person feel good about themselves because their ego needs you to do that. And that is why this person here was doing the hot and cold thing, because when they felt like they was good and they didn't need this person, they had all the other attention from other people, and people were hollering at them in the inbox, and they texting back and forth on the low and going out seeing people on the low, going to the corner store, and they're not really going to the corner store. If they meet somebody at the corner store, they've already been texting while you ain't even looking, whatever. They go in the bathroom, act like they use bathroom, and like they got to do number 2, whatever it is, and they in there texting whoever they texting, creating timelines of, I'm gonna meet you here and I'm gonna meet you to meet me here, meet me there, or I'll be over there this time. I'm gonna create a diversion, I'm gonna create an argument, I'm gonna do something so I can leave mad and stay away, and I'll be over there to see you. So stop. If they stingy you with chips, they're gonna be stingy with love. Stop trying to save people who won't share their snacks. Reciprocity, fairness, and boundaries. So this divine masculine and this divine feminine did not have no boundaries with this person. All their boundaries was down because they truly loved this person. They put their boundaries down and let this person all the way in. So they told them a whole lot of things that were personal about their lives to this person because they loved them that much and hoped that this person will open back up to them as well. But that's not what happened. Anything that their partner told them, a lot of it was lies. Okay? But in order to make this person feel like that there was a real connection, because this is a part of the of their toxic traits, they would elaborate or create a story similar to the one you told them so that you would feel like y'all connected. Okay? And it starts that way as a means of connecting with you, keeping you hooked, okay? So you feel like, oh, that's your soulmate, which is what they want you to feel. Because they really not your soulmate, but they want you to feel like that y'all have experienced some of the same things, okay? And this is why God brought y'all together. No, that's not what it is, okay? And then let's go a little further. So Spirit, Ancestors, the Most High God, do you have anything for the stingy card? Yeah. Spirit said it's the Empress card in the upright, okay? See the Empress card in the upright? Let me get it up there. You can see it, okay? It's the Empress card in the upright, okay? So this is a card of abundance, nurturing, fertility, feminine, good parenting, development, accomplishments, growth, evolution, and action. This is what this person wanted with their partner, okay? They wanted the abundance. They wanted it to be a nurturing type of relationship, fertility where there was growth. You have to remember on this card, it says that there's no growth. It says it at the bottom. Stagnation, fear, growth. Okay, so lack of. It's supposed to be in, but that's not what was happening with old girl. Old boy, he's sitting on the couch, okay, depressed. But with the Empress card in the upright, it's saying abundance, nurturing, fertility, good parenting, development, accomplishments, growth, evolution, and action. This is what this person wanted with their partner. All those things I just mentioned, but this is not what was happening. This is what they wanted. They wanted, they were in the Empress type of energy, and they wanted their partner on that level with them too, okay? So the partner was pretending to be on that level. That's why this is under stingy now, okay? The stingy card. They were pretending to be everything that this person was looking for. They were pretending to be that. They were pretending to be an emperor, okay? This is Empress. So the counterpart to this would be the emperor. So they were, or vice versa. Take it how it resonates. They were pretending to be the emperor to this person. They were pretending to be just like them, that they had these qualities just like this person sitting on this couch has, okay? So they wanted to come off like that, you know, like I said, pretending to be somebody's soul type. I mean, not soul type, that's the issue. Pretending to be somebody's soul mate, okay? And they were trying to act like and emulate this person. They were essentially, they were just mocking or mimic. Now I won't say mocking, mimicking this empress and their qualities, or this emperor and their qualities, okay? They were mimicking, pretending to be divine, okay? So that they would have all these qualities that comes with being an emperor or an empress, okay? But that was not true. This was all fake. This was all pretending. Anything else, Spirit, on that? Why was they pretending? Why did they think this would work? This is Two of Swords, y'all, and it's in the reverse. Okay, so with the Two of Swords, it's the lesser two evils. No right choice, confusion, indecision, information overload. I asked, why did they want this person to believe that they were emperor or empress? Okay. And the Two of Swords came out to say because they wanted to create confusion. They wanted this empress, you see her looking crazy. They wanted this empress or this emperor to be confused when they was in the relationship with them. This was a part of confusing this person and keeping them off balance. Okay. So they don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? They don't feel secure in the relationship. They can't feel secure because their partner was constantly changing on them. There was nothing steady about this person. Okay. So they wanted to create confusion. You see this person sitting here with these swords is in, they have a blindfold on if you look at it. They wanted to keep them blind to the fact that they weren't the emperor or empress. Okay. And they were of two characters for this person. The hot and the cold I was telling you about. They could be loving. They knew how to do that. They knew how to, they knew how to do mimic love and loving and all of that. It's a mimic. It's not real. Because this person I'm picking up was emotionally void of intimacy, or how to connect with people in a real way. But they had learned how to mimic what that's supposed to look like. So they can look the part and pretend to be an emperor or empress, masculine and feminine, okay? And so they were creating confusion with this person, okay? So this person didn't know if they was, what they was going to get from one day to the next, one hour to the next, 1 minute to the next, you know what I'm saying? They don't know if this person was going to be loving them, want to be involved with them and be, around them or whatever and relaxed around them, or if they're getting ready to get uptight and flip, and have, a manic depressive type of, attack on them or some type of way for a little or nothing. And so this person didn't know, what was going on. So it kept them off balance a lot of the times. And this was to create confusion. And anytime this person felt like, well, I don't want to deal with this, they were always, indecisive about what they should do, which is why this six of swords came out sideways, because they were indecisive. They were very indecisive. They didn't know what to do. They were back and forth with their own emotions, just like this person was back and forth with theirs. But their partner was doing this on purpose, creating the imbalance in this emperor or this empress. So check this out. Their partner knew how to mimic emotional security, love, intimacy, all of that, right? They knew what they be knowing how to do that, because they be trying to figure out. They know how, when they figure out what a person need, they know how to morph into that. What's the word I want to use? It's like a chameleon. It's like like a chameleon. So whatever a person needed, or whatever a person, when they figure somebody out that, what they're focusing on, or, what they into, or this and that and the other, or what they like, or whatever, or, how they get down, or whatever, they morph into that for that person. Okay. And this is what was going on in this relationship. So they'll morph into that for this person to keep them hooked. Okay. And then once they feel like they got their claws back in them and got them situated where they want them, then they pull away again and they get cold again. So it's to create that distance to make that person long for what they just gave them. So it's a back and forth vicious cycle on this person, the divine masculine or the divine feminine psyche, have them all in their head and confused all the time. So this is why this person was doing that to them. Because I did ask, why are they doing that to them? It's to create confusion. That's what it was. It was to create confusion so that they be all messed up in the head. They can't make no decisions. They don't know what's right and what's wrong. They don't know if this person telling the truth, if they're lying. They can't discern right from wrong for themselves or for anything else. If the situation is right, if it's wrong, they're all off balance. So the next card is delete your thumb rest. Delete the number, block the number, reclaim your peace, closure, detachment, and release. Okay. And so I was saying with this card that in the short that whoever the divine masculine is or the divine feminine, they need to delete this person out of their life completely in every way possible. So it says delete your thumb rest. So if your thumb is on, pulled up a message box, getting ready to text this person, this spread is saying don't do that. Don't text them, don't reach out, don't make contact with this person. As a matter of fact, go through your phone and everything that reminds you of this person, delete it. Delete it out your phone. All the old pictures, all the pictures of y'all together, hugged up, kissing this and that and the other, going places together. Delete all of that. Anything that's in there that reminds you of them, any of their family members, anything of their friends, or anything, any places that y'all went to together, and y'all frequent it often. If you got pictures or videos and any of that stuff, get rid of it. If you took them to anything that had to do with your family, get rid of it. If they took you to anything that had to do with their family, get rid of it. Okay, delete it. Anything that they gave you, anything that was a gift, anything that you have, you need to get rid of that. Okay. And that's what this card is saying. Spirit, do you have anything else in this card? So we got the 3 of Pentacles, and it came out sideways. Okay. Came out sideways. In the upright, the 3 of Pentacles says teamwork, collaborations, learning, implementation, building something. That's in the upright for the 3 of Pentacles. Okay. In the reverse, it's disharmony, misalignment, working alone, lack of teamwork, disorganized, group conflict. Okay. But it came out sideways, which is just confirming what I just said about this being one of those type of relationships that was back and forth. And I don't mean make up the breakup or nothing like that. I mean fighting and arguing and fussing over nothing, starting stuff with the divine masculine or the divine feminine for no reason, just to keep them off balance, and then love bombing in the next minute and telling them how much you love them. How much how I feel about you. I love you, this and that and the other. I really didn't mean that. And I would never do anything to hurt you and blah, blah, blah. Just hang in there with me. We're going to get married, or we're going to do this and we're going to do that. Just watch what happened between us. We're going to do it. We're going to be that power couple. We're going to be this, we're going to be that. And then the next minute they yelling and screaming at you for something trivial that don't make no sense, that, you just creating a problem where there is none. Okay. This why this 3 of Pentacles came out. And it came out in sideways because it's back and forth. Because in the upright is teamwork, but in the reverse it's the opposite. So sometimes y'all work together and sometimes y'all didn't. And I'm gonna place it right here on this delete card sideways, just like it came out. All right. Anything else on this delete card, Spirit? Anything else for this delete card? Is it loud? A little bit. I don't know what it is. Is it with these sideways cards? I ain't never had so many cards come out sideways. That's why I know it was hard for the divine masculine or the divine feminine to let this go. They were caught between 2 opinions of what they should do, because they loved this person so much and they had invested so much in this person. They wanted the best for this person, and they hoped and they prayed and they had desired so much for this person to reciprocate and come out of whatever it is that they was in and stop treating them like that and really start giving to the relationship and invest like they did. And this is what has been a back and forth theme throughout the whole relationship. Literally, this person lived, breathed, ate everything. This other person, that's what they did. Their time was consumed with this person because their partner made sure that they didn't have time for themselves. Okay. Because it was all about the partner and what they wanted. So this is why stingy is here. Okay. And deleting this delete card that came out next is because this person needs to let that go, because they was too consumed. They was consumed. They was getting ate up by this person. Okay. And so with the delete card, we had the 3 of Pentacles that came out because it was back and forth between them. Sometimes they worked together, sometimes they didn't. And then this next card that came out sideways is a Tower card. Came out just like that. Okay. In the upright, the Tower card is a sudden change, upheaval, chaos, revelation, disaster, awakening, release, sudden insight. Okay. In the reverse, it's personal transformation, fear of change, averting or delayed disaster, suffering, collapse, stormy time, restlessness. Okay. But it came out in sideways, just like the 3 of Pentacles came out sideways. So there were probably and undoubtedly some type of tower that did happen, which is the reason why they broke up. Okay. So some type of tower did happen at some point. It doesn't say what happened, but something happened. It was big and it blew up the whole situation. I'm not gonna say foundation because there was no foundation here. There was no solid foundation. This relationship was not built on a solid foundation. It was built on a bunch of BS, a bunch of crap, and a bunch of lies. And which is why they were having problems in the first place. Because why else would you be stingy to somebody you keep telling is your soulmate and that you know how I feel about you, I love you, and this and that and the other, then you turn around and treat them funny the next minute? Because there was no those words and all the rest of the words this partner was saying to the divine masculine or the divine feminine had no basis in reality. There was nothing true about anything that came out of their mouth, which is why they were back and forth. Because when you're a truthful person, you're not going to be wavering between two opinions of whether or not you're going to treat somebody right. You're going to treat them right. If you're an upright, outstanding person, you ain't got nothing to hide. You ain't going to be funny acting with them. You're going to be yourself. You're going to be truthful. And if you love that person, you're going to tell them you love them and you're going to treat them like you love them. Don't tell nobody you love them and then treat them like you don't the next minute. Okay? 1 minute you love them. You get what you want out of them, whether it's the BED, or your time and attention, or getting your ego stroked. Okay? And then the next minute, when you get your feel, you discard them. You don't want to be bothered with them. You don't go hang out with your friends, go find you somebody else to go BED with, or go get some attention from somebody else because you got your divine masculine or your divine feminine in their head, and they don't know how to give to you anymore. They're scrambling, trying to figure out ways of how to give it, how to do what they need to do to get this relationship back on track. They the one trying to fix it all the time, and you loving that. And I'm talking to the toxic person right now because that's your MO, is to keep people imbalanced because you really don't want them figuring you out. It's a way of keeping them attached to you. It's a game. But guess what? All games got to come to the end at some point. Okay, so with the delete card, you got the Three of Pentacles that came out sideways. And this was teamwork sometimes, and then sometimes not teamwork. So they work with the divine masculine or the divine feminine sometimes, and then at other times it was against the divine masculine or the divine feminine. So this really wasn't no relationship. This wasn't no partnership. Y'all weren't even friends. Okay. And then the Tower card came out, and it came out sideways. Okay. Crossing this delete card. So the Tower, eventually it did happen. They did break up. It had to happen. Because this wasn't solid. There was nothing solid about this. So this was suddenly that this happened, okay? And it created a lot of upheaval. The light came on for the divine masculine or the divine feminine, okay? And they realized what they was in, what was going on. And they got tired and they had to wrestle. And that's why it came out, because they didn't want to bring this Tower. They didn't want to break up with this person. That's why it's sideways. Because they know that this was going to be something. When they break up with this person, looking at how this person always react to certain things when they don't get their way, they knew that if they break up with this person, and they separate from this person, that it was going to be something. That this person was going to start some stuff with. This stingy person was getting ready. They're going to start some stuff with this person, create a lot of chaos and stuff when they really pull back all the way and completely cut them off. And this is why it came out sideways, because it's divine masculine and divine feminine. They wanted to do this because they felt like it was necessary, but they didn't want to do it because they didn't want to deal with the fallout from this person and how they were going to react to this. Okay. So they knew that was going to happen, but this was necessary for this person to transform. They had to first go somewhere and heal, which is obviously they're not doing that sitting on this couch. Okay. They're not healing. They're trying to distract themselves, but they're having a hard time. Look at her face. That's a divine masculine or divine feminine. Look between them eyebrows. Yeah, so they're having a hard time finding something to keep themselves occupied, because again, this is all they knew. This was their world. This is what it was. Their partner created this world for them, and they were caught up in it. And now that they're not a part of that, they don't know what to do with themselves. So they're sitting on the couch, stuck. Okay, but they had to bring this Tower. So I believe that the divine masculine or the divine feminine cut it off. They had to. Okay. Anything else for this Tower, for this delete your thumbs delete card, getting rid of everything about this person? Anything else? Do you have anything else, Spirit? Do you want to say something? What do you want to say? I felt that. Hold on. Crack these cards, okay. Spirit team is a mess. They talk like I do. I say crack them cards. My spirit team say crack them cards. That's what I heard. Crack them cards. Okay, I crack them. What you got? Spirit team say crack them. Crack a that. Oh, maybe. Whoa. Hold on. It ain't right. Almost dropped like half the deck. So that says to me something is about to come out. Whoa. Yeah, it's coming. I got two. All right. So for this delete card, we already got the 3 of Pentacles that came out sideways. Then we got the Tower card that came out sideways, okay? And my next card for the delete card is the 7 of Swords in the reverse, okay? So in the reverse, this is a coming clean, rethinking approach, deception, self-deceit, keeping secrets. So like I said before, I said it in the short and I'm saying it, I said it earlier in this read. This person was deceiving themselves into thinking this is why they was invested. They was thinking that this was a great relationship. You know, it was a good relationship, that it's really not as bad as what they were seeing that was taking place. It's not that bad. And they didn't really mean that, you know, we're gonna be okay like we always do. You know, we gonna get it back together, you know, and everything gonna be good, you know what I'm saying? But they were doing all the work, they were doing all the investment. So the 7 of Swords card that came out in the reverse is saying that they were self-deceiving themselves. That's exactly what they were doing on purpose. They were doing it on purpose. The divine masculine, the divine feminine, whichever one it is, you take it how it resonate, was deceiving, self-deceiving themselves. They were deceiving themselves into believing that this was a good relationship and that their partner did not mean all that garbage that they said or the stuff that they did. That's what this 7 of Swords card is saying. They were deceiving themselves, believing lies that they were making up in their head for this person. This is not even the benefit of the doubt, okay? Because this is a pattern from their partner that they see all the time. Yet they were deceiving themselves into saying that it's not going to last forever. This person is going to change. This is not who they really is. I've seen little peeks and little hints of it and this and that and the other. No, you were seeing what they wanted you to see. They wanted you to believe that they were going to change because they didn't want you to break up with them. They didn't want to lose. You was a good supply, baby. They weren't about to let you see really who they was, but they were going to let you think a little glimpse here and there of some mimicking light. Like, you know, it's possible I could change. It's possible I could be what you look for. It's possible I can give back to you. It's possible, you know. Anything is possible, you know. That's what that's all about. My second card that fell out for the delete, this is actually the 4th one, is the what is this? Wait, hold on. It's a 6 of Pentacles, but it came out in the reverse. Okay. So in the reverse, the 6 of Pentacles says self-care, unpaid debts, one-sided charity, strings attached, power and domination. So, like I said, this was a way that this person, what I just said about this person, everything they did was to dominate, control this person. It was to keep them attached to them. It was to control how they think, how they saw the life that they were in with this person, how they saw life in general. They were reconstructing this person's thought patterns and their perception of life in general. They had this person thinking that this is all they could get and this was the best that they was going to get. They had this person thinking that this was love. They had this person brainwashed. And the 6 of Pentacles that came out in the reverse, it says one-sided charity. So the divine masculine, the divine feminine doing all the work. That's the one-sided love. Charity is love, okay? Giving. So one-sided charity, one-sided giving, one-sided love. You're going to do all the work, and I'm going to make sure you do that. I'm not going to put in minimal effort for you. You're going to get a little bit from me, and you're going to think that it's the bee's knees. It's the best thing since sliced bread. You're going to think I'm giving you the world the way I'm going to do it, but it's going to be this much. But you're going to think it's this much. Because I'm good like that, and that's how this is that the toxic partner talking, okay? This you, toxic partner, cross watcher. So they don't want this person to have no self-care for themselves. Like I said, their world consisted of their partner and their partner only. They want to keep your eyes on me. I am everything that you need. I'm everything. I'm without me, you're nothing. I'm your world. And that's the world they was creating. This toxic person was creating for the divine masculine or the divine feminine. You know, using their looks, using their wows, their sexiness, their, you know, whatever they got. They said women use their intuition, they use a body and this and that and the other, and a masculine do the same thing. Okay, especially if they look good. Okay, so they were using everything at their disposal to keep the divine masculine or the divine feminine in check, so that they don't never disconnect and they can continue sucking them dry. You understand what I'm saying? There were strings attached to everything that they did with this person. It says this on the Six of Pentacles card, strings attached. I said that earlier, and this was about power and dominating the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Next card says, you're starving while calling it fine dining. Stop romanticizing crumbs. Self-worth, scarcity, and denial. This card is a card of breadcrumbing. Like I said, they were creating a perspective for the divine masculine or the divine feminine that this is just a wonderful experience with them, that they're getting treated so well with this person and they're getting loved so well in the right way with this person. They were creating that type of perspective for them. And even though the divine masculine or the divine feminine could see all the red flags, they were trying to make it seem like it was more than what it really was. So that's why it says you're starving while calling it fine dining. Stop romanticizing crumbs. The little bit that they throw you here and there, they throw you a little something, they throw you a little bone here and there. And, you know, you ain't eating who knows how long. So you starving for love. You starving for affection. You starving for attention. You starving for emotional security. You're starving for stability in a relationship. You starving for everything that you could possibly think of that's supposed to be right. Relationship, you were starving for that divine masculine, divine feminine. And you toxic person that's out here watching this video, or you know of somebody like that, you were throwing them little crumbs like you was feeding the birds. Okay, because this person was eating like a bird. Divine masculine, divine feminine, you was eating like a little bird, pecking here and there, anything you can get your hands on that was thrown to you, or you happen to find little scraps here and there or something. You was scavenging for a real relationship, pretending that it was fine dining, like you was eating good, knowing you was starving. You ain't know your self-worth when you was in this relationship. This person had you not valuing, not loving yourself. They had you, you know what I'm saying? You took the back seat voluntarily. They did that to you. They didn't tell you you're going to take the back seat. What they did, their behavior and the way they talk to you and the brainwashing, you voluntarily took 4, 5, 6 steps back and hopped your ass back on the back of the burner or the stove without really even thinking about it. It was almost automatic. This is how good that person had. This is how good they are. Because you didn't know you forgot your self-worth. And this is what they wanted. Because once you forget that, they could do all kind of stuff to you. Be like, beam me up, Scotty. I control your body. I got your mind too. I got your mind too. I got your body because I'm going to put it on you. And then I'm going to draw back and make you fiend for it. So for the fine dining and the breadcrumbing and romanticizing crumbs and all of that card, we get the Knight of Wands upright. Okay. This the slowest moving knight in the deck, if I'm not mistaken. It's the Knight of Wands. Okay. All Knights of Wands and Knights of Pentacles and all of that. This is slow movement. Okay. So the energy with the Knight of Wands can be impulsive. Okay. So this particular knight is the impulsive one. Okay. So this is the reckless, the uninspired action, the passionate energy, the fearless moving knight, the adventurous moving person. This is the promises card. This is the card that says it's going to be a beautiful thing. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. It's going to be wonderful. We're going to have everything that we need. You know, you ain't gonna want for nothing with me. We're gonna make it work. We're gonna be abundant. We're gonna have this. We're gonna have that. All this fast energy and all this fast talking and all these fast promises and with a lot of passion behind it with the BED to make it seem like they meant what they said. You understand what I'm saying? And make it seem like it's an adventure being with them. And then when you're not, you know, you get that adrenaline rushing so bad to the point to where, you know, you hyped up on words and promises and dead promises and all of that. And when they pull back and be cold to you, you be feeling for that, like I said. But it's always backed up with the BED because that is how they get you. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute, about how that is used against you to open you up to everything else. Okay? I'm going to tell you about that in just a second. But this is the Knight card. This is that fast-moving, empty promises card with a lot of compassion. Okay? A lot of compassion. You might have some adventures. Y'all might go somewhere and do some things and have some fun real quick. You know, keep you on a whirlwind for a minute. You be going. And y'all doing this, y'all doing that. You meeting up with friends. You're going on this, you know, road trip and this and that and the other, blah, blah, blah. And all this other stuff. Ain't nothing to that. That's just to keep you, wow, we really doing it. We really this. And then when they bored because you're not really doing what because ego has to constantly be fed. It gets it has a hearty appetite and it gets greedier and greedier. So if you're not feeding it enough because you lost in the sauce because your head is spinning because it's back and forth mess with this person on the downtime, when you're not feeding their ego because you're trying to get yourself together and get your bearings, this is when they go out and go find somebody else. And let me tell you, this type of toxic person already had somebody else the whole time. They're sitting on the back burner too, waiting like a dummy. They're sitting back like a police officer hiding behind bushes and trees when you ride by around the curb and you don't even see them. Because you can't see that person that's on the side or them people that's on the side, because more than likely it's always more than one. They like to stack them because they don't like being without supply, even if it's bad supply. But if they can get better supply than what you're doing at that moment because you're trying to get your bearings and you kind of, you know, reeling from all the back and forth with this person, during that time while you reeling, they'll be back. They're going to leave. It's not going to feel like they're gone and they left you for good. They're going to go and get that hit real quick. And then they're going to come back and be calm and pull you back in with the love bombing because they fix. So now they're good. The edge, they took the edge off. And then we're going to come back to the house or to the apartment or wherever you live. If y'all live together, back to the house with you or come over to your crib. And now they cool. They fine. They done calm down. They're another person. Okay. Anything else on this fine dining breadcrumbing card that flipped out over and then it flipped back? Okay. Anything else on that? Because ain't nobody playing with y'all toxic folks. Y'all are a mess. It's crazy when I think about that with people that behave in this manner. It's like, why you can't go get somebody that's toxic just like you so y'all could do that to each other? Oh, you don't want that done to you. So you don't want a toxic person. If you get with a toxic person, it's not because, you know, you about to get the best relationship. You get with a toxic person because they toxic just like you. If you get with that person, what you're going to do is y'all going to team up against somebody that's not like neither one of y'all. Because that's what y'all do. You can't just stay to yourselves with your own kind. You can't just be over there with the rest of the toxic gang. The gang's all here. Here we are, a whole toxic group. That doesn't feed your ego. Because y'all have the same needs. And y'all all into not feeding nobody else's ego but your own. So you got to go out and find you somebody that's not like the rest of your group of your friends, all y'all toxic, demonic, whatever y'all is. So you got to go find somebody that's not like you or like them and drain them. Because you're not about to go to battle with somebody just like you. You're not about to do it. You can try, but all y'all know each other's tricks. Lord, you got 3 cards. Are you serious? I'm not taking them 3 cards. That's too many. I just need one more, please. Can I get one more? Spirit, can I get one more card for the fine dining breadcrumbing card, please? One more. Lord. Woo. Half the deck was on the edge of the table, y'all. That was about to hit the floor. I need one more card for this fine dining breadcrumbing card. Romanticizing crumbs card, please, if you would. Here we go. So the last card for fine dining, the breadcrumbing card, is the 4 of Wands in the upright. There you go, right there. Okay, it's the 4 of Wands in the upright. I think this is the last card. We'll see. It says celebration, joy, harmony, marriage, home, community, homecoming. This is what the divine masculine and the divine feminine wanted from their partner. This is what their partner kept from them with this 4 of Wands. They were not going to get it. They were never going to get it. They weren't going to get it. My love. No, they weren't going to get it at all. This is what they wanted. They wanted that from their partner. The divine masculine or the divine feminine wanted that. That's on this card, this 4 of Wands in the upright. They wanted the celebration to celebrate with this person. They wanted the joy. They wanted the harmony. They wanted the marriage. They wanted the beautiful home and the house that feels like a home, for real. They wanted to feel like they belong together. You know what I'm saying? They wanted all that. But their partner was not about to give that to them. Because with this card, the fine dining breadcrumbs card, for this 4 of Wands to come out like that, this is what was going on in the divine masculine or the divine feminine's head. They were pretending they were getting this. They were romanticizing every little crumb they got and making it big, like it was the best thing. They were making it seem like they were having celebrations, that this was joyful, that they were in harmony, they was working together, they were partners, that this was some kind of committed relationship where it was equal give and take. You know what I'm saying? They was making it feel like, in their head, they blew it up to the point they feel like, this was where I belong. They was messed up. They was confused. Honestly, this is what was going on. And so this spread is saying that this person, when they broke up with this toxic partner, that they, in order for them to get off this couch and get themselves together, they're going to have to cut everything loose. They're going to have to start deleting everything that's connected to this person, deleting all the videos, the pictures, and all the memories they have, any hard copies of pictures that they got in their house that they took together, any stuff like that they used to have on the walls together, anything that they bought together, as far as, that's not too expensive. I'm gonna put it that way. Because, you didn't need the memories, any clothing you have from them, anything that belonged to them, any socks, shoes, whatever. If you have it, the card is this spread is saying get rid of it completely. You have to do that in order to give yourself closure. This is how you detach. This is how you release, by getting rid of everything that's connected to that person. Okay, and then my last card here. This is my last card. There's an oracle card, and it says, souvenirs from heartbreak don't age well. Burn the hoodie. Keep the lesson. Release, memory, and empowerment. So I'm just saying, you need to get rid of everything. Souvenirs from heartbreak don't age well. You don't need nothing to remind you of the heartbreak from this person. Nothing. So if it means getting rid of everything that reminds you of them, including people that y'all had in common, as far as when you got with this person and you started becoming cool with people that they were cool with. These are people you didn't know before. You're going to have to cut them loose as well. You're going to have to cut them loose. Because this is their friends. This is their group. This is their crew. These people they knew before you. So they know how this person is. They've been knowing how this person is. Don't think they're going to side with you. You're not going to be able to talk to them after y'all break up and go to their friends and talk to them about their friend. They're not going to let you do that. So you're going to have to cut everybody loose. They're not going to let you talk to them because they're not going to give you no sound advice. Because that's their friend. That's their friend, not yours. At the end of the day, they all birds of a feather flock together. They all think alike. They all act alike. They all live life the same way. What they place value on is things that the divine masculine and the divine feminine don't value and shouldn't be valuing. That's why when you was in this relationship, divine masculine and divine feminine, this person was trying to get you to change your values. They were trying to get you to put your guard down and start accepting some BS. They were trying to get you to get into some things that they were into on the low that they didn't want you to be in. So if you can recall any conversations you've had with this person where they ask you if you would do so and so, you have to think about the things that they were asking you about. Why did they? And now you know, because they were trying to get you to put your defenses down and allow some things to go on. They wanted you to accept their raggedy behavior, but more than anything, they wanted you to they wanted to gradually and really slowly erode your defenses to wickedness, so they can change your perspective on what's good and what's bad. They wanted to flip that so that you accept what's bad as good, but on the low. That's why them small little conversations and questions they've asked you, if you would do this or if you do that, or some type of conversations y'all had was brief. They threw it in there real quick during an intimate session, where they threw it in there where everything was calm, trying to see if they could persuade you to drop your guard. But with the souvenirs from Heartbreak Don't Age Well card, you see the young lady on this card. She's taking off the hoodie that he gave her, and she is burning it. Okay, she is getting rid of everything tied to this toxic person. Okay, so some of you may need to do that. May need to go through your house or your apartment, if you living somewhere else, and do the things that you had that you took with you, and see if you have anything that they gave you or that has connected to this person. I don't care if it's jewelry, watches, rings, whatever. If they bought it for you, whatever, go pawn it. Get rid of the jewelry if it's worth anything to pawn. Clothing, you can get more clothing, burn it. Get rid of it. Okay? So anything on this card with the young lady with the hoodie that's burning everything and getting rid of everything tied to that toxic person. You have anything? I have the Queen of Cups, and it came out sideways. This is like 1, 2, 3, the fourth sideways card. There's a Queen of Cups that came out sideways for the burning everything card, getting rid of any souvenirs or anything, releasing this person. We got the Queen of Cups in the it came out sideways. In the reverse, it's inner feelings, self-care, self-love, codependency, insecurity. Okay. In the upright, it's compassion, comfort, calm, nurturing, healing, emotionally stable, intuitive, and caring. Again, this card came out because it is a tug of war. Okay. Just like the other three that came out sideways. It's that back and forth energy perpetuating. It's throughout everything in the relationship that you was in, divine masculine or divine feminine. As a matter of fact, remember I said in the beginning of this read that I was doing all that stuttering, right? I was stuttering a lot. And I was saying it seemed like somebody either got something to say or they having a problem saying it, or, I'm sensing some type of confusion. I said that before, right? So this is the whole thing throughout this whole read was confusion to keep the divine masculine or the divine feminine unstable, okay? And here we have the Queen of Cups, which in the upright is a compassionate person, a comforting person, a calm person, a nurturing person, a healing and emotionally stable, an intuitive and caring person. So divine masculine, a divine feminine, you probably was all of these things originally when you first connected with this person, and they slowly erode at all of that to flip you. So you were in a cross between being the king or the Queen of Cups, okay, with all these beautiful attributes, okay? You are a cross between being that and being something else, because this is what that person was trying to do to you, okay? They were trying to get you to switch, because unbeknownst to you, behind your back and what they kept from you is how low can they go. Pretty darn low. You just didn't know that. You didn't know. You didn't know. The whole time they were pretending to be your emperor or your empress, mimicking emperor or empress energy. That's what they were doing. Okay? So this Queen of Cups comes out sideways because all those beautiful attributes that go with the Queen of Cups, you were struggling maintaining that with this person as long as you was with them. It was a struggle. It didn't used to be a struggle until you connected with this person. They were trying to get you to drop that Queen of Cups or King of Cups energy. They didn't like that energy because it represented everything that they weren't. That's why they back and forth you, hot and cold you, try to throw you off balance and off kilter. And a lot of times when you was trying to ground yourself after a bout of going back and forth with them, that's when they will come in. A lot of times, even though they would leave and go get some energy for somebody else, they come back. They knew you was off balance, and that's when they were going through the sacral chakra. And I'm about to talk about that in just a second. Okay, so the Queen of Cups with all that beautiful energy was just too much because it represented everything that they were not. Because in the verse, you know, this person was codependent on your energy, that beautiful Queen of Cups energy or that King of Cups energy. They loved it and they hated it at the same time. They loved it because they fed their egos because you were so willing to invest and keep on doing it no matter what they did. They loved that, was feeding that ego big time, and they hated it at the same time because you were genuine in that energy and they don't possess it. They don't have it. They don't have that light. So it was a love-hate type of relationship for them when it came to you. But it was a love relationship and a confusing type of relationship. You was confused. It wasn't that you didn't love this person. I'm not saying you was confused if you loved them or not. You loved them dearly, but you were confused. Masculine, feminine, divine masculine, divine feminine, you were confused. All right. So that's why this card came out sideways. I know there's another one for this. We're almost done. Right at the end. You got one more for this? Yep, there you go. All right, so we have the Nine of Pentacles in the upright also for this card that says where this young lady is burning all the stuff that she got, or this divine masculine, divine feminine is burning all the stuff and getting rid of all the stuff that they got from their partner, their toxic partner, okay? So we have the Nine of Pentacles that just popped out, and it says fruits of labor, rewards, luxury, self-sufficiency, financial independence. Now, this is the tail end of the message. And the reason this card came out, which is what I'm saying at this moment, this is what I'm getting. This is the closure card. This card is saying that all of that love you gave, all of that work you put in, all of that investing, all of that nurturing, all of that overlooking stuff and still loving, all of that being abused in all kind of ways, all of that you took and kept, you took the lick and kept on ticking, and you still kept trying. You stayed in that love energy. You stayed in that Queen of Cups energy. You stayed in that King of Cups energy. You stayed in that Emperor or that Empress energy throughout the whole relationship. You never came off your throne. You operated out of love, out of genuine love, where this person was mimicking it. The whole time you was doing that, this card is saying, with the Nine of Cups in the upright, you came out the better for it. Because now you're self-sufficient. You're not codependent anymore. You don't depend on this person. You don't depend on, and you have learned to take care of yourself, to give yourself self-love, the love you was missing when you was in this relationship. You've learned to give yourself the hope and the joy and the peace that you was trying to have with this person. You learn to give yourself everything you did not get with this person. After the fact, after y'all broke up, after you left, you've learned how to do that. This person taught you how to love yourself, unbeknownst to them. That's what they did. They taught you how to level up spiritually. They taught you the art of detachment. Because you're learning to detach, which is something they did not want. First thing you did to detach was leave. Second thing is telling you at this point. Instead, get off that couch. We're sitting there being all depressed and stagnant and grow. There's plenty of fish in the sea if you're looking for another fish. If not, get yourself together and self-love. Do love on yourself. Get your spirit together. Get your soul to get your mind together. Get your house in order. Get your finances in order. Be self-sustaining. Get your confidence back. Work on that. And when you're in alignment with yourself, the Most High will align you with who you're supposed to be with in due time. But first, practice self-love, because that's something you was not doing when you was with this person. They stripped you of that, but they also taught you how to love yourself now. This is how you do it now. This is how you do it. So this Nine of Pentacles card is saying your fruits of labor, all that labor you did, all it did was level you up at this point because you remained righteous. You remained on the path. You didn't get bitter. You didn't lose faith in love. You just know that wasn't it. You learned that. So you learned your lesson. You did not give up on love. And this spread is saying, don't give up on yourself. Detach completely. Delete everything. No longer accept breadcrumbs. Sitting at the table pretending like this is something more than what it was. Don't ever do that again. And it's telling you to completely detach. You got to get rid of everything for real, for real. Even if you have to burn it, you have to destroy it. Destroy it. Or throw it away. Get it far away from you. And then with this Nine of Pentacles card, it is saying your rewards is coming. Okay? Because you didn't stop being the king or the queen of cups. You kept that love. They didn't destroy your love. Okay? They didn't destroy that. They may have affected your trust. But you also understand over your emotions that this was just a test, and that doesn't mean everybody is like this person. The greatest power in this realm is love. And you kept that in your head. That's something you believe firmly. You know. It ain't no belief. This is something you know. That's the greatest power. Even though this person didn't display, they mimicked it. Like a chameleon. They can put it on and they take it off. Because it's something they wanted to gain. What the intentions was wrong. The motives was all, well, this was a snake. So because of that, now you have financial independence. You're no longer codependent on this person because I'm sure at one point y'all had merged so to the point to where you felt like your finances was tied up with this person. And how was you going to, that's why the Queen of Cups came out sideways. Because you was like, that came out, the Pentacles came out sideways, the Three of Pentacles, the Tower came out sideways, this Six of Swords came out sideways. You're trying to figure out, if I detach from this person, how am I going to make it? Because that's what they put in your head. You're not going to make it without them. You can't live without them. It's so many people out here that's out wishing they was in a relationship, and I was told here in the state that I'm in and stuff, that it's a bunch of women here, so more than women here than it is men. And what I've seen since I've been here these 6 years is that these women, they desperate. It don't even matter. They want a piece of man. And some of it's just to be in a relationship, but these women have learned how to be just as cunning as some of these men. They're in these relationships for finances, just like a lot of these men are. And they're going to do the same tricks that I said in this spread with the manipulation, the ego, and all that stuff, the control, to keep their person, the women try to keep their man attached just like men do it. So put it where it fits for a masculine or a feminine. Okay? And my last card right there. It's going to be the Eight of Wands. Okay? It is the Eight of Wands in the reverse. Okay? For the Eight of Wands, it means delays, frustration, holding off, waiting, panic, and slow down. Okay? So since you left this person, this is what I'm getting right now. Since you left this person, you're learning to be self-reliant, self-dependent. You taking care of business. You learn how to get your affairs in order and take care of things and manage your own money, your finances, and do things for yourself and focus more on yourself. You're going inward more. You're not gonna be sitting on that couch all depressed and this and that and the other. And you're not gonna be feeling like that. After a while, that's gonna pass. Okay. You learning to meditate. You learning to do some things that strengthens your inner man, your spirit. You know what I'm saying? You starting to read a little bit more. You're going to the park. You're going to places by yourself and enjoying yourself and being with yourself. Because a lot of times, what people do when they come out of relationships, they want to hop right into another one, and that will be your partner in this spread. Who that's exactly what they did. As soon as you left them, they put the poker face on like it don't matter. They didn't care. Threw the middle finger up like they could care less, and they hopped with somebody else. But understand, this is somebody they already had, and they're not the only one that they're dealing with. And more than likely, most of them that's on the side chick, side dude, don't even know each other. They don't know that they feel like they're the only one, just like you did. Okay, you may have been the main supply, but you were not the only one. Okay, because this person will never satisfy. And I'm hearing Prince's song "When Doves Cry." Maybe I'm just like, what is it? Maybe I'm just like my father, too bold. Maybe I'm just like my mother. She's never satisfied. Yeah. Why do we scream at each other? This is what it sounds like when doves cry. I think that's how I go. But the part that stuck out to me was the never being satisfied part. Because this person is never satisfied. One is never going to be enough, like Pringles. If you remember the old Pringles commercial, probably don't. You can look it up. But there was a phrase in it that said, no one can eat just one. So this person, never satisfied with just one. It's always got to be a plethora of options. They always have options, whether they're good or not. And more than likely, they're not good. You were just, I heard the best. What I heard. I heard you were the best. So this person, ever since you left, you're getting yourself together. So you're ascending. This person is descending according to this Eight of Wands. They're delays. They're experiencing delays and setback and frustration, and stuff is not coming through like they wanted to and needed to. And it's a lot of waiting for this person. A lot of stuff they're panicking right now because in all honesty, you probably with your divinity that you possess that you probably weren't aware of when you was with this person. You were their blessing. You were their blessing. It was like you were like a good luck charm that if they received anything, it was because of you, because of your divinity. That the divine shined on you, and anything you connect to, was receiving your blessings. You understand what I'm saying? But now that you're not with this person anymore, and you can pull away, you need to disconnect your energy from this person because they are still trying to connect to that. You understand what I'm saying? Through the things that you have that y'all shared together, they gave to you, whatever. So you might want to look around and see if there's anything big or small that is connected to this person and get rid of it. All the pictures, look in your phone, all of that, and get rid of that stuff because these are things that they are going to try to use to connect with you. And it's really crazy that they will do that, but they will. So if they have anything of yours, you might not even know, you might not even realize it's missing. Then they're using that to connect with you as well. So you do your part on your end and disconnect those soul ties from this person, these energy, ties with these people. That don't mean good because they never wanted their best supply to get away, and you did. You left. And you left gracefully. You didn't leave fighting and fussing. They tried to fight and fuss with you, but you left gracefully and you left it alone. And they still mad. Okay. So what I wanted to talk about was that sacral chakra. The sacral chakra is the one where your hips is. Okay. It's in between your hips, so it's your nether regions, if you get my drift. That's what I'm talking about when I say sacral chakra. And this is a point of one of your chakras that can be exploited, okay? This one in particular, your nether regions through the bed, through SEX, is how they drain energy, your essence from you, okay? So if people are able to do this to you, then 9 times out of 10, you're dealing with a witch or a warlock, okay? This is somebody that we call an energy vampire, and they have perfected a way of draining energy from divine beings. Okay, and so when you would deal with this person, if you can think back, if you've ever felt drained after having SES with this person, or you just You thinking it is that, oh, it was so good, I'm just so tired, it's that good sleep. No, baby, when you wake up and you still tired, it's not the same thing. And then when you're not doing that and you still feel drained when you're around this person, you feel sleepy, you feel confused, you can't really focus, you don't want to do nothing, you don't want to go nowhere, you kind of want to chill, and you calling it chilling, but in actuality, you being drained and depleted just by being in that presence, they're being in your presence, they're draining your energy. And then when the XEX part happens, they drain even more. It's way worse after that. And then you know what I'm saying? You ever woke up in the middle of the night and you wake up and you don't even know why you woke, and you with this person and you wake up and they already woke staring at you in the dark? Realize what you're dealing with. Seemed weird to you when you woke up and you saw that, right? They're staring at you in the dark, or the little light coming through the window or whatever, but they're staring at you, they ain't asleep. And you get that weird feeling. Trust that feeling. You're dealing with somebody that's draining the crap out of you. You understand me? You need to get away from that person. So anything that you can find, don't get caught up in the trap. Don't be tempted to get back with this person. Don't be tempted to sleep with this person. Don't be tempted in any way. Do not respond to that person if they call you or they contact you. Do not do that. Do not respond to any of their family members. Do not block and delete. Any of their friends reach out to you suddenly after y'all done broke up and it's been a minute and they start talking to you, block and delete. Okay? And more than anything, you need to go through your stuff and see what you got that is connected to that person and get rid of it. Okay? And that's all I'm really going to say tonight. And I hope you enjoyed this reading. Not very many people was on tonight, but I know you guys will look at this later, which is a wonderful thing. I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in when you do tune in. I do appreciate those that did watch the live stream. Please go ahead and leave your comments and your thoughts about this this particular live. I'm going to try to give it a title where you will understand a little bit, get a little insight into what I'm talking about. I know it's a little lengthy, but it's a good one this time. It's really, and they all have been good, but I especially enjoyed this one. For some reason, this was on me already. So, and this is a collective reading. It's not for one sign, not from one individual sign. This is a collective reading. So it may apply to you and it may not. If it don't, just let it fly. Okay. Please don't take it personal. If you're not the toxic person, then I'm not talking to you. Okay. Don't get upset. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't try to take this personal, make this a personal attack. I'm talking about things that is coming out. This is the energy that I'm reading. Okay. So this is not nothing personally directed at you. Okay. But as they say, if the shoe fit, put them bitches on. All right. And we're going to see you a little bit later. I may do another short before I lay it down for the night. But we're going to see you guys later. Love you to life. Peace, love, and light.